into another layout. Now, I have sat and I have die cut a stack of bits and pieces. I had some of these little sprigs. All these dies were from TEMU, by the way. I don't even know if they're still available. I don't have a link to link them to, so any die cuts that you have, you can do this with. Now, I have put some little rubber gloves, finger gloves on my fingers because I'm using a lot of sprays and colour, and I don't want to be pink and green for a week. So I have just about got rid of the blue from the other day. So, you know. Anyway, first of all, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope everything in your week is going well. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope your family is doing well. And yeah, I've had a busy first week of the school holidays. And it's actually, I'm recording this on Friday at the end of the first week. And had a very busy, crazy, chaotic day. It was super hot yesterday. Ridiculously hot. To the point I was like, wow, I need to put the air conditioning on. And today, like, it was like 10 o'clock last night, the wind came through and it was blowing a gale. And then out of nowhere, the temperature has plummeted down to like 22. I have no idea what's going on in the world. I'm running with it. I'm happy for it to be cool, but it's just, yeah, a bit crazy. I will list all the colours of the Distress Oxides that I've used below, but I will spruik them off for you now in case you want to hear it versus reading it. Now, I am not wasting the ink that I have sprayed onto my mat. I am lifting that off and putting it onto some cardstock because I don't want to waste it. I can use that on something. I can die cut it. I can do whatever I want to do with it. Now, I am using up. So I started off with these sprigs. I had them left over from a previous layout and they were already green. So that was my jumping off point. I thought, you know what? I haven't done something. I know it's Keep It Simple September. And technically I've been a really good girl and I have tried to keep every single layout super, super simple. This one is still very simple. It's just a couple of processes. So, you know, cut your die cuts out, separate them out. If you've got a Cricut, you might want to just cut them on your Cricut or your Silhouette or your Brother Scan and Cut or any of those sort of machines. If you don't want to sit and manually die cut them, you might be lucky enough to have an electronic die cutting machine. I really wish I had one of them. I reckon I would use it so much more, but I digress. And all I did is I've got on my mat here, I'm going to show you that I actually have a plastic placemat on top of my pink grid mat, which is a self-healing mat, but I like to be able to just work on that surface, and the self-healing mats are quite expensive. The placemats are not. So I replace them and I cut through them, and I do it all the time. I'm absolutely hopeless at doing it, but I just get carried away with the process and I don't think about it. So all these colours, I'm keeping them all and I'm using all these different colours. I have used, on the flowers, I used mustard seed, I used KITSCH Flamingo, wild honey, carved pumpkin, festive berries. On these grids, I'm using peacock feathers, salty ocean, and there was another colour. Peacock feathers, salty ocean. Oh, maybe it was only the two. And then on the green sprigs, I used mowed lawn and twisted citron. So there you go. And I did come in with the blue and I sprayed it with my... See, I'm changing my mat because it looked disgusting. I used my metallic, my mica spray that I make. and I just did a quick spritz over the top of the blue grids. I don't even know what you call them. I don't know. It doesn't have it written on them what they're called. They're just, it looks like a crisscross grid to me. Now, I have pulled out, thank you, Bobbie, so much. I cannot explain how excited I was when I got your package. And I have one of my wonderful subscribers, I have to say. She supports me so much. It is amazing. She sent me over from the US 3 tubs of the TCW Light and Fluffy modelling paste. I am set for modelling paste now for the foreseeable future. I was so excited, and she sent me the most gorgeous, my next live I will show you guys, this gorgeous coffee mug, and it is just, it's bright, it's bold, it's Mexican is what that's the best way I'll describe it. So thank you, Bobbie. You are amazing. I absolutely love receiving things from people. It is just, it's amazing. Thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate it. And everyone on the channel truly appreciates it, because it allows me to bring you more content. Because, you know, money's tight. Let's be honest. It is. So, and this is not cheap. Check out that blue. It picked up a little bit of the Mowed Lawn and the Twisted Citron, and it's sort of, I ended up, when I picked it up off the mat, and this is why, just whenever you're using your sprays, grab a bit of old, or I've just got the cheap cardstock there, and just lift it off, and at some point you will use that, because it matches all your distressed products. So any of your sprays, do something like that with it, because it lifts it off, and you know, you're not wasting it then. And let's be honest, that's your money. Now, you can see what I've done with my grids there in the center. They are just to add a bit of a focal image, a focal point behind my photo, right? Now, you can't, it's difficult to see, but I did put the texture paste in the background of my, where I'm putting my little sprigs up the side. Now, it looks like I'm just covering them up, but it makes a difference when you're looking at the layout. And if you see the photos close up, you can see the texture paste and that beautiful woven pattern. That's just a 12 by 12 stencil. I bought a pack of them, and they are beautiful stencils. They really are. And I just used it, and because it was curving one way, you probably saw me there. You clean it off and flip your stencil over, and then you've got the mirror reverse of it. I know a lot of people sort of say, oh, I don't like stencils because it's just one way, and I don't like one-way stencils. Just flip it over. That's all you got to do. And then it goes the other direction. And, you know, technically then you're getting a 2 for stencil. So it works. Now, obviously all my die cut pieces are completely dry, and I'm now just gluing down my little sprigs. I don't know what else to call them. They're just like little sprigs. I love them. They're delicate. They're got a bit of swooshy to them, and by putting a couple of different colors on them. And I had the leftover ones. I actually inked them. I'm trying to think of what the layout was that I used them on. I can't honestly remember, but I had those left over. Now I've got a tray next to me that when I die cut and I cut some extra, I might have inked them. They may still just be white. I might have stamped them. I keep them in that tray, and they're right there. And I quite often forget to go to that tray, but it's good to do a layout like this where you can just use it up. You can use up your bits and pieces. Yes, obviously I had to cut extras to use up those few, but you know, it gives you a jumping off point. It gives you something to sort of sit back and go, oh, okay, yeah, that could work. Now, I'm putting the green bits down first, and then I'm coming in with my flowers. I love my flowers. By dipping them into the different colors of the Distress Spray, Oxide sprays, you end up with variegated flowers, which looks a little bit more natural. Now, I know that the centerpiece is blue and everything else is green and pinks and yellows. The reason I did that is because I literally looked at the photo and went, all right, she's got green in her pajamas, she's got blue around presents, she's got some pink there, there's a bit of yellow in the background. So it left me open to do whatever I wanted. So the photo was simply Angela getting her very first set of AirPods. And she was for her 15th birthday and she was so excited. That's all she wanted. And believe me, she drops them a lot and it gives my husband a heart attack on the spot. In case you don't know, my husband works for Geekworks and in Brisbane, and that's what he does. He repairs Apple Macs. That's what he does. And yeah, so it's pretty much yeah, it's good. He has I have never known my husband, slight squirrel here. I have been with my husband now for 17, nearly 18 years. Wow. Nearly 18 years. And honestly, I think the only time in that 18 years that I've ever heard him say anything negative about work was during the pandemic when he was working at night time by himself. So him and his boss were in the shop at different times because both their wives, me and his boss's wife, we have suppressed immune systems. So they were working separate but working and keeping the business going because there's only there's like 2 or 3 of them there. And that was the only time I heard him complain. And the reason he complained was there wasn't enough man hours in the day for him to be able to complete and get the computers back to people, because obviously everyone was working from home. Everyone needed their laptops. Everyone needed everything yesterday. And that was the only time I've ever heard him stress out. And I think it's very rare to find someone that loves their job and has stuck to their chosen career from high school. And he's always worked with Apple products. He does all his training, all that stuff. And yeah, so anyway, squirrel, no one cares. So so she got her first Apple AirPods, and no, our kids don't have phones. Angela does have a phone, but it's dumbed down. It's an iPhone, and my husband's taken everything off it, so it's just a phone basically. And yeah, my kids don't have social media. They watch YouTube, but they don't actually have it. So that's just me. That's the way we like to parent. So, and it minimizes the stress big time. So now I'm pulling out. I'm having a bit of a waffle on this one, aren't I? Sorry guys. Jeez. It's not even a Debbie Downer. It's just I'm sort of feeling very melancholy and very proud of my little family. I'm very, very proud. Proud of my husband, proud of my children. It's great. Life is good. Life is very good. Now, you can see me here. You saw me pull out they're like my little tubs of goodness. I love them. They're my flat back pearls in my little segregated containers, and I love pulling them out and going to town and just sprinkling the pearly goodness all over my layout. Now, these, you're probably looking going, okay, yeah, I can see where you're going, but it's not quite there. Now, the clear drops that I have put in the center of the flowers, by the end of the video, the art glitter glue has dried and they're crystal clear. And you can see straight through to the color of the oxide underneath. So they work perfectly. And I love those drops. I think they're called clear dew drops. And I've got some from K.I.S.S. I've got some from Uniquely Creative. I've bought some from AliExpress. I sort of get them from everywhere, to be honest. So, yeah. Now, this is me going to town with the pearls. the reason I do this, I want to explain why I do this. One, I love texture. I love texture. But I also love reflection, shine, and shimmer. All the shimmery, juicy goodness. I love it. And that's why I love taking the time to put these pearls down, because I can guarantee you my 3 kids at one point or another every other day, they will come to the craft room and they'll have a quick flick through and see the pages that I've done, or I'll say to them, hey, I did one for you today, have a look at it, and guaranteed they will start touching because they know that there's a heap of texture on there. And I love that. I love that, because when I was doing art at school, it was very much you do your art to be seen and you don't touch it, you just leave it. Whereas I've developed with, you know, with my painting and art journaling and all that sort of thing, I prefer to, I want people to interact with what I've created. So yeah, so that's why I do that. And then of course I come in with my liquid pearls as well. And this is where it really starts coming together. I only wanted a teeny tiny title on this one. I wanted it to be all about the flowers and the photo. So this special time is what I called it. And I popped that on the photo versus those colours look like they went really well. I just wanted to have a tiny title. I didn't want it to be big and overpowering. I realise it's very white at the top and white at the bottom, and I do come in with some sprinkles later just to break that up a little bit, but not to make it too much busier. Now see how I'm getting different sized drops. You can, those teeny tiny ones, all I'm doing, I'm not squeezing at all. I'm just touching it to the paper, and you get the tiniest dot. So you can get the bigger ones by squeezing it, and it's just, you can just variegate how big and have a good variety of dot sizes with the liquid pearls. I love the liquid pearls by Ranger because it's thicker and it stays in its shape better. I have used the Nuvo ones. I do have Nuvo. You can see it in the tub there. It's very runny and it sort of splays out, and it doesn't, it's glossy and I love that, but it doesn't stay as raised up as what the Ranger stuff does. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents worth on texture and all that sort of thing. So I'm just going to town and I'm adding all different colors through the flowers. I used Mermaid, Coral, Brilliant, which is the blue, Ballerina, which is the really light pink one, actually the one I'm using now, and Marigold is the gold one. You can see them sitting to the side there, the ones that I used. And once I do this, I absolutely love it. I did end up adding a border. I wasn't going to, but I ended up doing a border right on the edge of the cardstock, and I used my Uniball Signo Gold pen because it just needed that extra little bit to keep it all on the page. I love it. Let me know what you think. Is it something that you would give some, would you do something like this? Is this something that you would consider doing? So I lift this up here, but then I put it back down because it needs some sprinkles on the top and the bottom. So I was finished-ish. So just give me a second. I put some of my homemade mica spray, and I just use a little sprinkle of it at the top. Not much, just the teeny, so you know what I'm like with my sprinkles, but I'm not a fan, especially after it's finished, but I just wanted a few bits on there just to tie both sides together. And now I'm finished. That stuff, I can tell you now, if you want to make some, recipe is over on my Facebook group and it's pinned at the top. Once that dries, which it dries really quick because it's made with rubbing alcohol, the mica powder does not come off at all. 100% guaranteed does not come off. So you can see the stenciling behind. When you're looking at it in real life, you can see it, but it's just poking out and it's just an extra little bit of interest behind. So when you see it up close, you can see what I was trying to do. And I've just added some extra interest in there. So let me know if you like it, if you got value from this video. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and if you haven't subscribed, do that too because it's free. And that way you'll know every time I load up a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. I will chat to you soon. Bye for now.